Something jumped off immediately in this press conference. Before any real football talk even started, you could feel the energy shift in the room. And it wasn't subtle. Isiah Pacheco didn't walk in trying to figure things out. He walked in like he already knew exactly who he was. And that changes how every question lands after that. Because this wasn't just an introduction. This was a reset moment. And everyone in the room was trying to figure out what version of him they were getting. And the media wastes no time going right at it. Not directly, but through framing that forces him to define himself in relation to Detroit's existing identity.
Why Detroit? Why'd you feel like this was a fit for you and your running style?
This question sounds simple, but structurally, it's doing more than that. It's asking him to justify the decision while also defining his identity within a new system. The pressure here is subtle but real. He has to explain why he belongs without sounding uncertain or dependent on the opportunity.
Yes, it was a great opportunity. Me and my agent sat down and talked. And, the position we've been in, through the run, the stretch, it's been on a wave, but knowing the mentality that the aggression I bring, finding who I'm going to play for next that could accommodate that, and coach and the staff here, the Ford family, they believed in me and gave me the opportunity to give 110% here, and I'm going to show y'all the real 10 is back.
He answers by anchoring to opportunity, but then pivots quickly to identity. The real 10 is back. It's not just confidence, it's narrative control. Instead of letting the media define his past 2 seasons, he reframes the conversation as a comeback story on his terms, and that blocks follow-up doubt before it even arrives. But the next question raises the stakes. Now the media introduces the existing running back identity in Detroit, and this is where it gets interesting.
You look at the combination of Sonic and Knuckles that's been successful the last few years here, man. Some people might look at that as pressure coming in and that, but how are you looking at it coming in off this tandem being so successful when you having a chance to follow up and build your own kind of legacy here with Jameer as well?
This is a classic positioning trap. They're forcing him into a comparison with an already successful identity. The hidden pressure is this: does he defer, compete, or redefine himself entirely? Each option carries a different narrative consequence.
Yes, definitely. Jameer, one hell of a player. Hats off to him and the guys. They've been putting in work here for a couple years now. And me just looking outside in, just hell of a group. And whatever I can do to contribute to the team, it's going to happen. And whether it's punting the ball, wherever's at, don't matter where I'm at on the field, cheering the guys on, bringing excitement to the team and bringing the leadership accountability. Been 2-time champ, not satisfied though. That's something that I'm not satisfied with. I'm more hungry than I ever was. And I'm ready to get to work.
Pacheco navigates this cleanly. He gives respect first, which protects locker room alignment, but then shifts to contribution and hunger. Notice what he doesn't do. He never accepts being boxed into their framework. He acknowledges it, but doesn't live inside of it. And this is where he subtly resets his identity again, because later he circles back and introduces something new entirely.
And to get back to you with the Sonic and they could call me Taz. I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna spin, jump, whatever I could do to get the first down, to combinate Jameer. And we're fast. We got speed, and they can't sleep on it.
That moment matters more than it looks. Instead of choosing between Sonic or Knuckles, he creates a third identity. That's a power move, because now he's not competing within their narrative. He's expanding it. And once he does that, the rest of the questions shift. Now the media moves toward testing his past instead of defining his role.
The last 2 seasons, Isiah, you had such a strong start to your career. How much did the broken leg kind of sap your calling cards and speed and power, and how much do you feel like you can get back to the player you were before that injury?
This is a recovery framing question. It introduces doubt about his physical ability while tying it to past performance. The pressure here is dangerous. If he leans too far into the injury, it validates concern. If he ignores it, it feels evasive.
Yes, definitely was a crazy experience going through that. Never broke a bone like to that extreme, but it was definitely a major comeback, and just having the mindset of winning a day every day. It's coming in the building, winning a day to get back, to get next to the guys, show them that I'm in the building. You know, when you're injured, you're out of the building. Just being around the guys, showing them that I'm there. So when I did step back foot on the field, it wasn't like I was missing. Yes, it could slow you down, but having that mentality of a dog and, you know, unsatisfied is important when it comes to this, because you could get really comfortable with the circumstances, and for me, just unsatisfied.
He responds by shifting from physical limitation to mental framework. Winning a day and unsatisfied becomes the focus. That's intentional. He moves the conversation from what happened to what drives him now. And this pattern continues throughout the press conference. The media keeps introducing potential doubts, and Pacheco keeps redirecting to identity and mindset. But the highest energy moment comes when the conversation shifts to his coach. This is where emotion becomes part of the message.
Oh man, at our first conversation, I was screaming on the phone, "Oh, let's go! I'm ready to go! Put me in!" He's like, "Oh yeah, Pacheco, what number are you going? Are you going with 10? Right, let's go! I'm on my way, I'm coming home."
This right here is not a typical answer. It's emotional, loud, and vivid. And that's exactly why it works. It signals buy-in immediately, not just to the team, but to the fans, to the culture, and leadership. And now the narrative is no longer about what Detroit is getting. It's about what he's bringing. Across the entire press conference, the media tried multiple entry points: fit, injury, past performance, role definition, but Pacheco consistently responded with the same core signals: energy, identity, accountability, and hunger. And that consistency is what stabilizes the narrative. Because when identity doesn't move, the framing loses power. This is what effective press room navigation looks like. Not avoiding questions, but absorbing them and redirecting the outcome. He never overcorrects, he never gets defensive, and he never lets the question define the answer. Instead, he builds a version of himself in real time, one that fits the team without shrinking to it. And that's why this moment works, because what looked like a standard introduction was actually a negotiation between media framing and player identity. And in this case, the player won. I want to take a moment to say a huge thank you to our channel members. We really appreciate the support and what you're helping us build here. If you're getting value from these breakdowns and want to support the channel, you can check the link down in the description. This is Press Room Breakdown, where we slow the room down and study how the message gets made.